Mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I just want to ask you a question. Open door. Jesus will. Amen. Proverbs 13 and 20 tells us that he that walketh with wise men shall be wise. The companion of fools shall be destroyed. How many of you know that Jesus will? Jesus will. I don't know what you got going on in your life or where you're at in these times of difficulty and struggle that we find ourselves here in America, but I know Jesus will. I don't care how you're turning or how you're looking or where you're living. I know Jesus will. We have people walking into schools and shooting up. I know Jesus will. We got people walking into religious facilities, pulling out guns, staying at Bible study and shooting up everybody at the Bible study. I don't know about you, but I know Jesus will. People can walk into a synagogue and pull out a gun and shoot people. We're living in trial time, but I know Jesus will. He can take care of it. But what are you going to do? Are you going to walk with wise men? Because Jesus is the wise man that we all need to be walking with. But when we want to take our advice from foolish people, that's why this world right now is on the verge of being destroyed. How many of you will raise your hand with me right now and say, Jesus will? In this text from Romans, in which we find ourselves standing on today, the book starts off, the chapter starts off, he says, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual and reasonable service. You see, only people that are going to get that this morning are people who are Proverbs 13 and 20 people. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise. We don't understand that text because we keep finding ourselves with companionship with fools. We want to listen to foolish people and let them get in our heads and change or affect the way we're going to act. We spend more time with our face stuck in Facebook, Twitter, the Real Housewives than we do the Bible. And it becomes those things that direct our actions in life. God is calling and looking for a people who are going to walk with him. The apostle here in Romans, having closed the part of the epistle wherein he argues and proves various doctrines which are practically applied, here urges important duties for gospel principles. Here in Romans, he is asking we believers conduct ourselves as if we are believers. That seems crazy, doesn't it? You a Christian, you gave your life to Christ, you were baptized, you got the right hand of fellowship, you come to church every Sunday sometimes, and he's asking you to conduct yourselves as a believer. Where have we lost track? At what point did we turn off the track? That understanding that giving our lives to Christ and acting as if we have given our life to Christ, Paul tells us, is our reasonable service. Why do we have to be reminded that we are no longer cuffed by what the devil wants us to do? How come we have to be reminded that we are not stuck in a place of craziness, evil, talking about people, stabbing people in the back, murder, cussing? We aren't stuck there anymore. Jesus died on the cross that we are set free. This is your reasonable service, to act like you know that Jesus died on a cross for you. How many of us have forgotten that? How many of us at any time other than this 2 hours we sit in here show it? How you living? He continues in verse 3. He says, "For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise." Paul is saying to us here to be humble and faithfully to use our spiritual gifts in their respective stations, to be wise, not to sit on our backsides and let all this craziness continue to go down in our world, because we refuse to stand up and say we serve a living God. That we serve a God who got up and stepped down from glory, who came through 42 generations to save a wretch like me. And I know I'm not the only one, Because he died for you. He died for you. He died for you. But not only did he die, he got up. With all power in his hand. And you know that in between time, that when he died and the time that he got up, he took the escalator to hell and smacked the devil in his mouth and took all power and control. So you are not bound by the craziness and the foolishness of this world. You are saved by grace. You got grace. That brings us to where we are today in that text. He said, let love be genuine. Hate what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Do not lag in zeal. He has given us the blueprint for how to end the craziness that's not just going on here in Louisville, where somebody can walk into a Kroger and shoot people and then walk out into the parking lot and say, whites don't kill whites. That's why we have this foolishness in this world, because we as Christians have refused to stand up and live the life that God has called us to live. We have refused to walk the walk that Jesus came and showed us how to walk. If we want to change this world, if we want to stop this madness, it has to start with each and every Christian looking in the mirror. It's not about the person down the street. It's not about the person sitting on the other side of church. It's not about anybody but the person sitting in your seat. And how you live. And how you show people that the Lord who died is living in you. What you talking about, preacher? I'm talking about it's in us. Every time I teach or preach, I'm showing us what we need to do as the living body of Christ. Yes. This Bible is not a history book. Say that. It's basic instructions for living while we're here. Before we leave this earth. It gives us an example of blueprint of how we're supposed to represent ourselves to a dying world. But we're stuck. We're stuck in a revolving door. But I I just stopped by to tell you, be wise, because Jesus will. You can make a difference. We got a world that's sitting here and it keeps looking for us to make a difference. And you know, it just didn't start last week in Kroger's. It started some 2,000 years ago. Where the church folks at? Where the Christians at? I remember a story. There were these two people that were sitting in a garden. I think they said the garden was Eden. I think they told me that it was a beautiful place. I think they told me that everything you wanted was at hand, that everything was just beautiful, that there was nothing bad in this situation. And that the devil said, you see where the issue happened? Huh? The serpent talked to Eve. Can somebody tell me where Adam was? Standing right there. Be wise. Adam didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. And Eve ate the fruit. The Bible tells me in Luke 23 and 18 that all these church folks were sitting there. And Pilate said, I find no fault in him. And people started standing up and yelling, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. Well, all the good church folks, the people that he had saved. I know there was a story in the Bible that there was a man with a withered hand. And Jesus said, stretch forth your hand. I bet you he was in the crowd. There was a man that Jesus spit in his eye so that he could see. I wonder if he was in the crowd. The Bible tells me about a man and his friends who climbed up the roof of a house, dug through the roof, lowered the man down to Jesus' feet. Jesus stopped what he was doing and healed the man. I wonder if the five of them were in the crowd. There was a time when Jesus stood up and he yelled at a man in a dead tomb, Lazarus, come forth. I wonder, where was he in the crowd? I know where Peter was. He was hiding behind a bush. Because somebody asked him, aren't you with him? Nah, I don't know him. Church, if you want to change America, if you want to make America great again, on Tuesday, November 6th, you need to be in a voting booth somewhere and making your voice heard.
Yeah.
Don't stand around and listen to people say, crucify him, crucify him. Or this country is keep going on a downward spiral that we're not going to be able to stop. It is your reasonable duty to vote. Don't stay silent. Don't sit around and do nothing while this country falls into a place of despair. That's what we did 2,000 years ago. And we're still fighting back today. Christians can't continue to be silent. We remained silent while they took prayer out of school. Don't remain silent as we try to take this country further into isolation, separation, depression, racism. On Tuesday, November 6th, show the world that you are saved. Show the world that you serve a risen Savior that's in the world today. Show the world that he walks with you. He talks with you along the way. Show the world that Jesus will. Because Jesus will. I'm not sure where you are in your journey. There might be someone here right now that doesn't know Jesus and what he has done for you. That doesn't know that Jesus wants you to be with him in his journey. If that's you today, I want to ask you to come. As the ministers come down,